What is up everyone, welcome back to another Gunpla review, and today I'm taking a look at this right here, and of course it's the high-grade build divers, Seravee Gundam, and bear with me while I butcher this, Scheherazade. But anyway, as always, once again, this video right here would not be possible if it wasn't for those awesome people over at Hobbylink Japan, so if you want one of your own, or for any of your Gunpla needs, then check out that link down there in the description. Now here we go. So first off, taking a quick look at the box, and the first thing you'll notice is that this is one of those thick boxes, so thick box for thick Gundam, and moving around to the side and on here, we can see that this Gundam features two modes. That's the Jin mode and the Ifrit mode. It wasn't until I actually got this that I noticed that the Ifrit mode has leg extenders. That should be funny. One thing that's both awesome and a little bit sucky is this right here, the Ptolemaios arms. My gripes aren't actually with the unit itself, but I will get to that a little bit later. And of course, just like with the rest of the Build Divers stuff, that support unit can be used with all the high-grade Build Divers kits that have been released so far, so of course, that's awesome. Spinning around to the other side, we've got a rear and front view of the Gundam, and all in all, this thing will cost you about 2,200 yen. So it's a thick box for a thick Gundam with the thick price. Seriously, that right there is a real great price. As usual with these kits, the price depends on the amount of plastic in the box, and in this box we do get a lot of plastic. We get a grand total of 11 runners as well as 2 runners of polycaps. So again, that is a lot of plastic, but if you look at the instructions here, you'll notice there is a lot of X's on there, and that's unused parts. So if you like to have little extra bits of plastic for projects and stuff, that's fine, but if you're the type that just throws it out the window, then that's kind of wasted money right there. So once you finally do get the Scheherazade put together, this really is a thick Gundam done right. All in all, it is a great rendition of what you see in the anime, besides, for me, one glaring issue. And that's that there's a sticker used on the yellow section there of its would-be V-fin. And speaking of stickers, besides that, it's not the worst. We've got 2 round ones for the GN drives. These ones here, 1, 2, 3, 4, are for the eyes, and besides that, that's the big yellow one I'm complaining about, and this white one which later is on the support unit. Besides that though, everything looks pretty much great. The blue looks fantastic. We've got a mix of pure white and off-white. The off-white does look a little bit yellowish, but nothing really worth complaining about. It does have a couple of minor color accuracy issues, like the backs of the knees in here, these should be gray, but again, these are all minor, and for an out-of-box build, it looks pretty cool. The colors are vivid, we've got some great panel lining opportunities, especially on the chest and knees, and all in all, it's a great take on the Seravee. Moving on to the articulation, and my initial thoughts were this thing would suck. But surprisingly, it doesn't. The high-grade Seravee Gundam has held up for the most part really well. We've got great articulation in the upper body, the head's quite good, the shoulders, arms, especially the bends at the elbows, the waist is pretty good too, and as for the legs, the knees are fantastic, so are the ankles, but the only things that really let it down are the front skirting, back skirting. Both of those, they don't move at all. The side skirting is fine, it only moves up and down slightly, but the biggest issue with this kit are the hip joints. Basically, you can see these are those old style, non-divided hip joints. Basically, there's nothing here, there's no up out to the sides, there's no rotation at the upper leg, that part isn't divided, and all in all, these are extremely limited joints. Mix that with the non-moving back side skirt, and you don't get a whole lot here at all. But for a Gundam that's so chunky, that really isn't the worst, so not too bad. Definitely impressive. So moving on to the accessories, and there's the Seravee Gundam Sheherazade with everything that it comes with. And the first thing I can think is, well, there's Seravee Gundam. Where is Seraphim Gundam? So basically, the guy who customized this, Shahryar, basically took the coolest aspect of this mobile suit, which is a secondary black Gundam with a giant Gundam face for a chest that sticks to the back of the Seravee, took that and just threw it in the bin, and instead added a small version of the ship from Gundam 00 instead. Seriously, why would you do that? Seraphim is the best part. Best part. But anyway, I digress. What we get in here is the Ptolemaios arms, the GN physical bazooka, 4 parts forming parts, as well as an adapter. So of course that does mean no alternate manipulators, just your standard holding hands. Next up is the GN physical bazooka, which is literally just a big slab of grey. We have this removable section that's used for attaching it to the arm, a movable handle, and of course that movable handle slips into the hand, pops into place like this, and by clipping on this section here, that all holds on and stays in place. And of course, before I move on to the support unit, which will almost be a review in itself, you do get quite a few leftover parts. Not a lot of this is actually usable. So moving on to the Ptolemaios arms, and essentially this is in the exact same color scheme as the Seravee itself, except we do have one colossally big white sticker on this section right here. Of course, that is that one we saw earlier on. And as well as that, we've got these really nice frosted plastic sections on the tips of these sections. They actually look pretty cool. Of course, those are long-range beam cannons, and speaking of which, by popping this section under here open, you've got the GN Ptolemy cannon. And at this point, I'm getting a bit confused because in the Japanese, they pronounce the P on the Ptolemaios, but for this, they don't. So as for the exact pronunciation, I have no idea. So as for when that's been used as a cannon, we've got two flip-out handles right around here on the back. So those right there can be held by the hands when it's in cannon mode. So of course, to use this with the Seravee itself, and while I'm pulling this off this base, I will mention that this is a kit that has no stand included, which is a bit of a letdown because for something like this, you really do need one. So first off, for Jin mode, this whole thing halves here in this section. That then pops into the butthole. These drop down, pop the bottom two containers off, flip these around, pop them on the sides of the butt flap, swing these downwards. For some reason, this section here always tends to pop off on me, just this one. Then that connects into the back of the torso. So finally, there's what Seravee looks like when it's in Jin mode. We also have the option to use these parts-forming parts on the upper containers so that they can point up and over the shoulders. Next then, and in my opinion the most unique form, is the transformation to Ifrit mode. The upper backpack sections and backpacks stay exactly where they are, the side containers pop off, the butt boosters pop off, these attachment sections come off the container, this in here is the handle, that comes out, the rear sections back here, those also come out, one of those adapters we saw earlier on slots into the handle then pops in here where the rear section was, the rear section splits open, and then connects into that adapter. And that makes this, which is the GN claw container, those pop into the hands, the fins with the handle in it pop off the butt boosters, connect onto the back of the container claws, this section down here spins around, splits open, and get this actually cracks me up. These little things are leg extenders. This is something, while I was building it, I thought I would hate, I thought would look ridiculous, but somehow it just works. Instead of it just looking like it has big chunky legs, now it looks like it just has big chunky strong quads. I actually really think this mode looks awesome. But anyway, there is a quick spin of Ifrit mode, and I'll stick that side by side with Jin mode so you can see what both of those look like side by side. So that is it for the review, and this right here I'm going to have to give a Mecha Gaikotsu Silver Award to. Of course, it does have a couple of little flaws, especially in the articulation of the upper legs. The color accuracy could be a little bit better, and all in all, it still does feel like it is an older kit. But on the positive point, this has something that I've said before about Gunpla, something that I really do love about Gunpla, and that's sometimes when you build a mobile suit, even if you don't like the design at first, if you didn't like it in the anime, that just building it, seeing it, feeling it, can really make your opinion do a complete 180-degree turn. And I love this thing, especially in Ifrit mode. This is so unique. And this is what I feel like a lot of build divers suits should be doing something completely unique with old suits. Some do, some don't. This one definitely does. But anyway, as always, thank you very much for watching. Of course, once again, this video would not be possible without Hobbylink, so if you're thinking of getting one of your own, check out that link down there in the description. And as always, make sure to come back for more Gunpla reviews. See you next time.